We got some tough news, the kind that hits you like a punch to the gut. What many feared has now become reality. The team won't make it straight to the playoffs. Instead, they're heading into the pressure cooker that is the play-in tournament. This means they'll have to fight for their postseason lives, with their fate hanging by a thread and only 2 chances to secure a spot. It's not where anyone wanted to be, but here we are. Now, if they drop the game on Friday, they'll have to turn right back around and face elimination on Tuesday. That's the scenario, and it's as real as it gets. The loss that sent them down this road was brutal, 124-119, a nail-biter that went to overtime. And let me tell you, the game was insane. Back-and-forth action, highlight plays all over the place, and clutch shot after clutch shot. One guy lit it up in the fourth quarter and the extra period, putting on a show with deep threes and fearless drives to the basket. Another stepped up in overtime, absolutely locked in and making big-time buckets when it mattered most. But even with all those individual performances, it just wasn't enough. A couple players had strong outings, the kind you expect from stars, but the overall execution fell short. The team now faces a must-win game on Tuesday, playing at home against a rival they've already seen a few times this season. And yes, they'll come in as the favorites, but nothing about this matchup screams easy. Not with the way they've been playing recently. This squad has dropped 3 of its last 5 games, and honestly, they haven't looked like the same team we saw earlier in the season. The rhythm is off, the energy is lacking, and the chemistry that once felt tight is starting to unravel. If they want to survive, everyone's got to show up. This isn't about 1 or 2 players carrying the load. This is going to take a total team effort. And that means defense, rebounding, limiting turnovers, and getting the bench involved. Because the road ahead is far from smooth. The reality is they shouldn't be in this position. They should have locked down the 3rd seed weeks ago. But now, not only are they in the play-in, they're looking at a potential first-round matchup with one of the most dangerous teams in the league. That's a nightmare scenario, because even if they survive Tuesday and win again in the second play-in game, they'd run straight into a powerhouse that's been steamrolling teams all season long. That's not where you want to be. So winning on Tuesday isn't just about making it to the playoffs. It's about avoiding a brutal path forward. Let's talk about what went wrong in that last game. Statistically, they weren't bad. They had 31 assists on 43, made field goals, shot 45% from deep, and moved the ball well. Offensively, they were solid. The problem? Second chance opportunities, or lack thereof. They got dominated on the offensive glass. Only 3 offensive rebounds compared to 9 from their opponents. That turned into 14 second chance points for the other team, while they only managed 6. That's a massive gap in a close game. And when it came down to crunch time, it felt like one team just wanted it more. I don't think effort was the issue. It's not like they weren't trying. But the execution, the discipline, the hunger to finish plays, that belonged to the other side. And that's usually the difference between winning and losing in these high-stakes games. Now, they're heading into this play-in with a shaky track record. Historically, they haven't done well in this format, and the pressure is only getting heavier. Fans were hoping this season would bring a more dominant version of the team, one that could skip all the drama and go straight to the playoffs with momentum. Instead, it's do-or-die time. Still, there's a silver lining here. The first play-in game is at home, and they've got the tools to win it. They've beaten this opponent 3 out of 4 times during the regular season. Back in November and December, they looked like a cohesive, dangerous group, even if they weren't blowing teams out. In one of those matchups, a player dropped 52 points and single-handedly carried them to victory. That kind of performance is what it's going to take again. But the opponent isn't a pushover. Memphis is no joke. They've got the 6th best offense in the league, a top 11 defense, and one of the best net ratings in the NBA. They play fast, they shoot well, and they pressure teams on both ends. This isn't a team you want to face in a win-or-go-home scenario. They get up and down the court better than anyone, and if you don't match their intensity, they'll run you out of the building. That's why the team needs to lock in defensively and crash the boards like their season depends on it, because it does. Force turnovers, contest shots, and fight for every rebound. They can't afford to give up easy looks or get bullied in the paint. And they've got to hit shots. It sounds simple, but against a team like Memphis, if you're not converting open threes or capitalizing on mismatches, you'll be playing catch-up all night. Then there's the rotation. Things got a little weird in that final game of the season, especially with certain players not getting minutes. One guy, in particular, who many expected to be part of the playoff mix, wasn't in the rotation at all. That raised some eyebrows. Maybe it was a coach's decision based on matchups. Maybe it's a bigger statement about where that player stands in the pecking order. Either way, it's something to watch heading into the play-in. Because if this team wants to go anywhere, they'll need every piece contributing. The stars have to be stars, yes, but the role players? They've got to shine too. We're talking about players who have shown flashes of brilliance this season, guys who've come up big in key moments. They'll need to do it again, and then some. The road to the postseason is still open, but it's full of traps. One misstep, and it's all over. So now the question becomes, who's going to step up? Who's going to take this moment and rise above the pressure? Because the margin for error is gone. This is it. Everything's on the line. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, injuries. In the closing minutes of that last game, a key player collided knees with an opponent. It wasn't just a minor bump. You could see he was limping a bit afterward, trying to shake it off, but it clearly affected his movement. He managed to stay in and still drop 30 points and handed out 9 assists, which says a lot about his toughness. But heading into Tuesday, his status is up in the air, and that's a big deal. This is someone who, since joining the team, has been more of a complimentary scorer. But in that game, he put up a career high in field goal attempts with 20. That's not normal for him. His averages before were around 17 points a game, with 5 or 6 boards and assists. Solid numbers, sure, but not takeover stats. What we saw in that performance was a shift, a signal that he's capable of more, and maybe, just maybe, it's time to unleash him. He's been evolving. His confidence is growing, especially from beyond the arc coming into that game. He had knocked down 8 of his last 14 three-point attempts. That's real progress. The way he's been attacking lately, drawing contact, taking more mid-range shots, it's clear he's finding his rhythm. And that's exactly what you want to see as the postseason approaches. Historically, this guy has always stepped up when it matters most. Since back in 2019, he's taken his game to a whole new level in the playoffs. He's become a better rebounder, a sharper mid-range shooter, and someone who isn't afraid to take over when the stakes are highest. And we're going to need that version of him now more than ever. Because the truth is, he hasn't been as aggressive as he could be. Before that last game, he had only attempted more than 15 shots in 4 out of his last 30 games. That's not enough. We need him in attack mode. We need him looking for his shot, exploiting mismatches, and being a constant threat. This isn't the time to defer. This is the time to take control. But he can't do it alone. The 2 stars of this team, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. They've got to show up in a big way. And the supporting cast? They need to bring their A game. Young players, especially those who've just come back from injuries, have been showing flashes of brilliance lately. One guy in particular has been shooting the lights out from deep, hitting 50% from 3 over the past few games. That's the kind of shooting that changes games. Another one has to find his form again. He's been hitting some clutch threes and staying active on defense, getting into passing lanes and sparking transition buckets. But it still feels like he's holding back. We've seen what he's capable of when he's locked in. That's the version of him the team needs now. And then we have the starters. 2 players have significantly upped their production when starting compared to coming off the bench, adding more than 3 points per game in those starts. Their three-point percentages have also climbed, hovering around 40%. That's a huge asset, especially in today's game. But shooting alone won't cut it. These guys need to keep attacking the rim, finishing through contact and crashing the boards. They've got to be fearless. And defensively, they need to lock in because Tuesday's opponent isn't going to let them coast. We're talking about a team with one of the most talented backcourts in the league, led by a point guard who can take over in an instant. Limiting him is going to be crucial. And no, he's not shooting lights out from deep, but he doesn't need to. He dominates in the paint, gets to the line, and controls the pace. The last time these teams met, he fouled out, and that completely shifted the momentum. The team went on a major run while he was off the floor, and that opened the door for the win. So that's got to be part of the game plan again. Be physical, attack him on both ends, and force him into foul trouble early. One other player we need to talk about is someone who's been in and out of the rotation all season. He didn't see any time in the final game, and that raised some eyebrows. Before tip-off, most expected him to be part of the game plan. But not only did he not start, he didn't play at all. And honestly, that's telling. It's not just a rotation tweak. It could be the coach sending a message. Maybe it's performance-related, maybe it's a chemistry thing, or maybe the fit just isn't working anymore. Either way, it's a story to watch heading into Tuesday. Some fans still believe he can help. Others are convinced he slows down the offense, holds the ball too long, and doesn't space the floor well enough. And statistically, he hasn't made much of a case. Since returning from injury, he's averaged about 21 minutes per game across 15 appearances, and the efficiency just hasn't been there. Whether it's mid-range, long-range, or even free throws, he hasn't looked comfortable. And this deep into the season, you've either found your rhythm or you haven't. The coaching staff seems to have made their decision for now. Unless things go sideways in the play-in, or the team finds itself in a desperate spot, it's hard to imagine him suddenly getting major minutes. Of course, that could change. One injury, one foul out, or one matchup shift could open the door. But as it stands, he's on the outside looking in. So now, all eyes turn to Tuesday. This is it. Win, and they're in. Lose, and the pressure multiplies tenfold. The good news? They've beaten this team before. The bad news? This isn't the same opponent they saw earlier in the year. They've grown. They're faster, more confident, and more dangerous. The team needs to be locked in from the opening tip. No slow starts, no lapses in focus, no wasted possessions. If the star player can give us another game like that 52-point explosion earlier in the season, and if the supporting cast steps up with timely threes and gritty defense, this team absolutely has what it takes. But that's the bare minimum. They'll need intensity, urgency, and maybe a little bit of desperation. Because the playoffs don't wait for anyone. You either rise or you're out. Let me know in the comments. Who do you think takes the win? Can the squad pull it off at home? Or are we looking at another frustrating early exit? I've got them winning by 9, same margin as the last time these teams met. But it's going to take everything they've got. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The Golden State Warriors are reportedly considering adding Bradley Beal to their roster, following rumors that the Phoenix Suns might buy out the star guard's hefty contract. This could be a game-changing move, as Beal's name has been buzzing around the league with the possibility of a buyout after a challenging season in Phoenix. The Suns have struggled to balance their roster, and Beal's massive contract, paired with a no-trade clause, has become an obstacle in their attempts to restructure. Despite his recent statements indicating a willingness to stay in Phoenix, the outlook for Beal's future with the Suns is far from certain. Many insiders suggest that the relationship may be coming to an end, with a buyout on the horizon. As the offseason looms, the Suns are reportedly preparing to part ways with the star guard. Once that happens, Beal will become a highly sought-after free agent, and the Warriors could be one of the key teams vying for his signature. John Gambadoro, a trusted insider for the Suns, has reported that a buyout for Beal is in the cards this summer. This move could significantly alter the balance of power in the Western Conference. Teams like the Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs, and Golden State Warriors are all reportedly in the mix, waiting for the opportunity to secure the All-Star guard once the buyout is completed. The prospect of Beal joining the Warriors is especially enticing. The combination of Beal, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler could form an unstoppable lineup. Beal's potential arrival would reunite him with Jimmy Butler, with whom he nearly teamed up during a trade attempt earlier in the season. The Suns had tried to bring Butler in by trading Beal, but the trade fell apart due to Beal's no-trade clause, which allowed him to veto any potential deal. Ironically, this same clause could now open the door for Beal to join Golden State instead. Beal's addition to the Warriors would make a huge statement. Since Butler joined the team, Golden State has experienced a remarkable turnaround. With Butler in the lineup, the Warriors have been revitalized, winning 23 out of 29 games. This resurgence has kept them in the hunt for a strong playoff position in the fiercely competitive Western Conference. Beal's scoring ability and playmaking could be the missing piece to propel the Warriors even further. The emotional aspect of this potential signing is immense. For Warriors fans, the prospect of adding a player of Beal's caliber is tantalizing. Beal's proven ability to score at will, combined with the leadership and experience of Curry and Butler, could lead to a new era of dominance for Golden State. This move would not only boost the team's title hopes, but also send a message to the rest of the league that the Warriors are still a force to be reckoned with. As the NBA offseason approaches, the excitement surrounding the possibility of Bradley Beal joining the Warriors continues to build. With a championship-caliber roster already in place and Beal potentially on the way, Golden State could soon be the team to beat in the Western Conference, setting up a thrilling new chapter for the Warriors and their loyal fans. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.